Okay, everybody, it is me, Gregory Mannarino. This is my post-market wrap-up on this really lovely day. Every day above ground is a good day. Remember that. So it's August 9th, 2021. All right, people, a lot of stuff to cover here as usual, but let's start off with the basics. Let's talk about this market today. We finished mixed. The Dow lost about 0.3%, about 100 points. The S&P 500, a fractional loss. The Nasdaq finished positive. Okay, all well and good, lovely. So what's driving that? What's driving this smackdown with gold and silver from last night through till today, Friday actually? What's driving that? Well, we'll talk about that too. But let's go back here to the market. So again, really a nothing day for the stock market, despite what we heard from not one, but two freaks, and I'm talking about freaks of the highest order, right out of the most vomitous, disgusting, hideous organization in the history of the world. And I'm talking about the Federal Reserve. I think you all know that already, and we'll talk about that too. 10-year yield, very nice. 1.32 today. Crude oil getting hit. People, it's not going to last. Something is going to happen to prop it back up. Either a false flag event or something, but mark my words, again, it's going higher. Without it, the market's dead. Dead. All right, forget about it. I don't care what anything else does. 10-year yield could remain where it is. The dollar could stay where it is or maybe even get a little bit weaker. We had a slightly higher dollar today. Don't matter. The market is dependent on crude. All right, it's the lifeblood of the market, the lifeblood of the military-industrial complex. The entire energy sector depends on it. The entire financial sector depends on crude. So it's going up, and it's probably going much, much higher in a relatively short period of time. Pullbacks like this, actually, I've been explaining to you that pullbacks in this market, if any asset, you got to buy it. You got to buy them because the Fed's not done, despite what we heard from not one, but two of the biggest freaks of the Federal Reserve. Anyway, so that's the story with the market. A mixed close, nothing major going on. 10-year yield, 1.32, dollar slight loss. Dollar slight gain today. And that's on the back, I think, really, of what the two freaks said today. See, look, we've been seeing dollar strength lately. Why? Why have we been? Why have we been seeing dollar strength lately? Speculation that the Fed will taper sooner than later. Ironically, that's what we heard today. Let's talk about that. So we heard from two things. They're not human. From the Federal Reserve, President Bostic and Barkin. Okay, whatever. Now, these two subhuman, vomitous masses, okay, that are just, wastes of human resources, these two things are coming out today saying that the Fed may taper sooner than later because of skyrocketing inflation. Inflation, people, is out of control. It is not contained like the other thing from the Fed is trying to convince you. Yellowstone Powell, it is not widespread. In other words, he's trying to tell you that inflation is contained. I'm still waiting for one member of Congress, just one, to call this thing before a committee and say, okay, sir, where is inflation contained to? And explain to us how it's not widespread. Now, why is also the follow-up question should be, we're in an economic boom, right? Oh, okay. So then tell us, why is the Fed maintaining emergency monetary policy, buying, billions of dollars, tens of billions in minimum purchases per month with regard to mortgage-backed securities and debt with no cap? Basically, they have a blank check to do anything that they want to. Why is the Fed issuing debt through one door, buying it back through another door? Really, all these questions need to be asked, but they won't because our representatives don't represent anyone. We have no representation at all here in the United States. It's all about, that's the fake puppet government. The real government is this Federal Reserve. Central banks of the world run the world. The rest is just nonsense. So anyway, back to these two things. Bostic and Barkin saying that the Fed, may have to taper earlier because of skyrocketing inflation. No, you see, the Fed is deliberately creating inflation. That's why they're running their inflation creation machine. Buying debt, issuing debt through here, buying it back through here, issuing debt through here, buying it through here. They're deliberately creating it, all right? They're deliberately inflating their balance sheet. You know that in an attempt to keep the stock market where it is until they're ready to pull the plug. And they're not ready yet. They're not ready to do it yet, in my view. It's just... What boggles my mind is you got these two freaks coming out here, right? Well, their boss said, oh, no, we're not going to taper for some time. And then their other boss, the vice chair, Clarita, said maybe 2023. So this is the game that the Fed plays all the time. They try to keep people and the market off balance. You understand? So they send out these freaks to say this. They're going to send out a couple more freaks to say something else. You just got to cut through the dog shit. The dog shit, which is wrapped in cat shit, covered in, sprinkled with bird shit. You understand? I think you do. The fact of the matter is the Fed's going to buy it all until they are literally, and they kind of almost are there now, the lender and buyer of last resort. This has been their goal since the creation, to one day be the lenders and buyers of it all, to continue to issue debt in greater and greater amounts through one door and then buy it back through another door. You understand? This has been their goal, always, to one day govern and rule the world. And that's exactly what's going on here. Let's move on to some economic news today. And this will not surprise you, so you don't have to freak out or anything. So consumer debt is now surging at its fastest pace ever. And this goes on to what I've explained to you is also happening. Credit card borrowing is at an all-time high. People are borrowing cash. You know what they charge you to do that? They're taking cash advances against their credit cards just to make ends meet. Does this sound like a booming economy to you? Or is this an economy that is designed to eliminate a certain class of people? And that's exactly what it's designed to do. That is the grand plan here. Force as many people as they can to the lower rung. The people that used to be in the middle class, which has been steadily fading away for quite a long time. It accelerated massively with the scamdemic, shutting down the economy. They want to see what they can get away with here. You understand that? Your body is not even yours anymore. You do realize that. More and more employers are forcing their employees to accept this vaccination or face firing. And it's an incredible thing. You not only they don't want you to own anything. Your own body is not yours anymore either. I want you to think about that. It's a pretty twisted system, and it's astonishing to me to see what's going on around us. It really, really is. Anyway, people, so that's the story. So gold and silver today getting slammed. This is on, in my opinion, look, I could be wrong. I'd love to hear your opinion. This is on speculation that the Fed will taper sooner than later. Do you believe that the Fed will taper sooner than later? Do you believe Bostic and Barkin, the two freaks from the Fed that are saying essentially the Fed will taper sooner than later because inflation is out of control? Oh, really? I thought, you see, that the Federal Reserve has a mandate to keep prices stable. Oh, well, they're not stable, are they? No, there's no such thing. You see, there's a lot of big dog shit talk about price stability. They don't care about this whatsoever. As a matter of fact, Yellowstein said that. He does not care about inflation. He cares more about people getting vaccinated. And again, you know me. You know me. I always get my medical advice from the Federal Reserve. I mean, really, of course, I can't imagine a better source than getting my medical advice from the Federal Reserve. How about you? You would agree with me on that, right? I think you would. All right, people, look, so that's it pretty much for today. Interesting stuff going on here. Crude is going to get bid higher. Look for it. Cryptocurrencies, people, are like really rebounding, and I can promise you yet again, you're going to see new highs, new record highs with regard to Bitcoin and the other big cryptos in a relatively short period of time. We'll see how that plays out, but I haven't been wrong yet with regard to cryptos. So anyway, people, love you a lot. Please share the video. I will see all of you. Well, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay.